AITA for leaving my son's wedding after he denied his stepmom a motherson dance. My son, Jordan, is 27. His stepmom, Natalie, came into his life when he was 16. His mom had passed away when he was 13. Jordan never really considered Natalie as his mom. He refused to let her get close and shut down every attempt to have a close relationship. He even moved in with his aunt months after Natalie and I got married. As years went by, they started reconciling and seeing each other more often. He invited us to his wedding, which took place days ago. We got there and the atmosphere was great. Until later, when I found out that Jordan had denied Natalie a motherson dance and instead chose his aunt to dance with him. Natalie told me this minutes later and I couldn't help feel irritated and quite upset. I decided to get up and leave and we both left. I got calls from my family after they saw me leave. And Jordan called later and I told him why I did it. He got mad and said it was his wedding and that his aunt is basically a mother to him and said that Natalie shouldn't expect special treatment. I said it's not special treatment but a tradition. Besides that, he hurt her feelings for no reason other than for the sake of being malicious. He got offended and accused me of ruining his day and causing a scene. Now the family sided with him and said I shouldn't have left no matter what. YTA. She was never a mother figure to your son. In fact, he showed you exactly how he felt about her when he moved out once you moved her into his home. He was kind enough to invite you and your wife to his wedding. But your wife had zero right to demand to be treated in any capacity as the mother of the groom. She is not a replacement mother to him, and your attempts to force that issue will cost you your son. If he hasn't already reached that point with your terrible behavior at his wedding. Thankfully, he had his aunt, who genuinely loves and cares for him and was willing to support him when you decided that your new wife was more important to you than your son. Wow. YTA. Way to make your son's wedding all about you and your wife. You already said that he never considered her his mom. So why in the hell did you expect him to invite her to do something that is traditionally for mothers and sons? For all intents and purposes, his aunt is a hell of a lot more of a mother to him than your wife. You are selfish, entitled people, disgusting, and you should be ashamed. YTA. Your wife has never been his mother and he has every right to not have a mother-son dance with her. I strongly suspect this isn't the first time you've chosen your wife over your son and is probably why he moved in with his aunt. If you want any kind of relationship with your son going forward, I very much recommend both you and your wife apologize for throwing a tantrum at his wedding. YTA. I find it so hard to believe you're so surprised. This woman hasn't been mom to him. It's his wedding too. It's not tradition to dance with your stepmother. Extremely huge YTA. A 16-year-old is not going to form a new mother relationship. He ought to be respectful and civil to your wife, but that is the end of his obligation. You are a complete ass for walking out of his wedding. YTA. It's called the motherson dance, not the father's wifeson dance. YTA. You made your son's wedding about your wife. Congrats on destroying your relationship with your son for tradition. YTA. Natalie is just your wife. She is not your son's mother. It's not a tradition for your son to dance with someone whom he does not consider his mother. Don't force your personal decisions on someone, especially when it is his wedding day. Also, don't count on seeing any future grandkids very often. If this is your attitude, you made it clear you value your latest wife more than your son. She didn't raise him for the majority of his childhood. His mother was there for that. It's reasonable that even if he likes her, he does not see her as his mother because he remembers and misses his mother. The fact that you remarried does not make your new wife his mother, and if he didn't want to dance with her, he didn't have to. YTA. 16 is way too old to expect a kid to treat a new stepmom like a second mother lol. Yeah YTA. YTA. Jordan was 13 when his mom died. 16 when you got together with Natalie. He's now 27 and you admit he never saw her as a mother figure. He didn't even live in the house with her. Or you. After the wedding. Why would you ever assume he would want to honor her with a mother-son dance? I'm glad he had someone who stepped up and was there for him when you clearly weren't. He was a child and you chose your new partner over your child. You're honestly lucky you were both invited. But to storm off and leave early because he didn't ask a woman who he does not consider his mom to do a mother-son tradition is absurd. YTA. You and stepmom. If he never really felt motherly feelings towards your wife, why are you forcing the issue at his wedding? If your son felt his aunt was a mother figure to him after the death of his bio mom, it is natural for him to offer her that honor. YTA. Your son only lived in the same house as your wife for months and didn't interact with her during that time. Even if he didn't have an aunt that he's lived with for over a decade, there is absolutely zero reason for you or your wife to have your son and wife engage in a mother-son dance. Cross your minds. She's not his mother. She's not related. She's absolutely nothing to him whatsoever. If she's that dramatic and self-absorbed, no wonder he left as soon as he could. You already know YTA. YTA. His mother has passed. It's only natural that he chooses the next best mother figure he has had. And that is his aunt. Anything else would be ridiculous. He wasn't mean about it. He just stated the facts and went with it. I don't know how your wife expected it to be her. Seems really weird. Tradition isn't to dance with the woman your dad happens to be married with. Even more weird is you getting mad about it. YTA. Natalie is not his mother. Your son does not see her as a mother figure, so why on earth would they do a mother and son dance? Also, it's Yu's son and his wife's wedding. They can do whatever they wish. YTA. He was 16 not 6 when Natalie came into his life. She was and never will be a mother figure to him. His aunt, however, he has presumably known her all his life. So she is closer to a mother figure to him than your wife will ever be. Accept it and move on. YTA. Do you think you should have been forced to do the father-daughter dance with your son's wife too? Or is it just your son you like to force relationships on? This was his wedding day. And you and your wife, not his mother, were selfish as to leave when he wanted you there. Pretty clear who you chose. He chose right for the dance. YTA. He didn't do it to be malicious. He did it because his aunt meant more to him than your wife. Fucking get over it, bro. You actually want a relationship with your kid, or do you want to win this nonsensical petty argument? YTA. It's literally only tradition when the groom chooses their mother or a stand-in. In the case of the original chosen mother being unavailable, when the groom chooses to do the tradition, why in the world would he choose your wife instead of the aunt who actually raised him? You're conceited and have no respect for your late ex or your son's wishes. YTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.